Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'm reviewing a laptop that sparked a lot of discussion and debate. I'm talking about the 13-inch Apple MacBook Pro. On the surface, it looks almost identical to the previous models, same chassis, same touch bar, same ports, but inside, things are very different. In this video, I'll break it all down from build quality and display to performance, thermals, battery life, and value for money. So, let's get started. Also, the link to this laptop will be included in the video description below. Now, let's start with design and build quality, which, if we're being honest, hasn't really changed in years. The 13-inch MacBook Pro still has that same all-aluminum unibody design with a premium fit and finish. It comes in two classic colors like silver and space gray, and it still feels as solid, as well-built as ever. And yes, it's starting to look a little dated compared to Apple's newer designs like the 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pros. Those have slimmer bezels, more modern I/O, and that squared-off aesthetic. But this 13-inch model, it sticks to the older formula. It still looks great, just not as cutting edge. At about 3 pounds and 0.61 inches thick, it's light enough to carry daily, but still has that reassuring heft that makes it feel durable and premium. It's compact, clean, and built to last. Now let's talk about display quality. The 13.3-inch Retina display is sharp, vibrant, and color accurate. You're getting a 2560 by 1600 resolution at 227 pixels per inch, True Tone support, P3 wide color gamut, and up to 500 nits of brightness. Colors pop, text looks crisp, and it handles everything from photo editing to Netflix streaming beautifully. It's not a mini LED panel like the larger MacBooks, and it doesn't hit the insane brightness or contrast of a Liquid Retina XDR display, but for most users, this screen is still excellent. Viewing angles are great, reflections are well managed for a glossy screen, and overall it holds its own even today. No high refresh rate though, is still locked at 60 Hz, which might be a drawback for those who have gotten used to smoother displays. Now let's talk about input like keyboard and trackpad. The Magic Keyboard on the 13-inch MacBook Pro is one of the Apple's most refined. The butterfly keyboard days are long gone, and what we have now is a well-balanced, responsive typing experience. Key travel is shallow but comfortable, the keys are backlit, and everything feels tight and responsive. You can type fast and accurately without strain even during long work sessions. And then there's the touch bar. Yes, it's still here. Whether you love it or hate it, this is the only MacBook that still features it. It gives you contextual controls depending on the app you're using, and while some people swear by it, others just want it gone. Personally, it's handy at times, but not a deal breaker either way. The trackpad, absolutely top tier. Apple's Force Touch trackpad is massive, smooth, and incredibly precise. Whether you are scrolling, clicking, or using gestures, it remains the gold standard among laptop trackpads. By the way, prices on this laptop update almost weekly with sales and other general price drops, so if you want to find the most updated information, simply check out the video description and you'll find the latest prices. And of course, if you find this video helpful, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Under the hood is where things really get interesting. This 13-inch MacBook Pro features Apple's M3 chip, a third-generation Apple Silicon processor built on 5nm process. You get an 8-core CPU, up to 10-core GPU, and either 8, 16, or 24 gigs of unified memory. Performance is excellent, everyday tasks like web browsing, word processing, media consumption, no problem at all. But it's when you start pushing it into heavier workloads that the M3 chip really shines. Photo editing in Lightroom, smooth, video editing in Final Cut Pro, surprisingly capable. Coding, music production, even light 4K rendering, all doable. It's not quite at the level of the M3 Pro or M3 Max chips, of course, and it doesn't have the thermal headroom of the 14 or 16-inch models. But for its size and class, the M3-powered MacBook Pro 13 delivers impressive performance, and it runs efficiently too. Now, unlike the MacBook Air, which is fanless, the MacBook Pro 13 has active cooling. That means it can sustain higher performance over longer periods without throttling. In most use cases, the fan stays off or whisper quiet, but if you're rendering video or pushing the CPU for extended periods, it will ramp up. Even then, it's not annoyingly loud. Thermal performance is solid. The aluminum chassis does get warm, especially near the top of the keyboard, but it's never uncomfortable. and that fan means it can squeeze a bit more out of the M3 chip when compared to the MacBook Air. Battery life is another area where the 13-inch MacBook Pro shines. Thanks to the efficiency of the chip, you're looking at 15 to 17 hours of light to moderate use. That's web browsing, video calls, and document editing. Even with heavier workloads like video editing, you can still get 8 to 10 hours, which is really impressive. It charges via USB-C using 67-watt adapter and supports fast charging. If you're someone who hates carrying a charger around, this laptop will make your life easier. Now, talking about connectivity on ports, this is where things start to feel a little limiting. You get just two Thunderbolt 3 USB 4 ports and a headphone jack, and that's it. No HDMI, no SD card slot, and both USB-C ports are on the same side, which can be inconvenient depending on how your desk is set up. If you need to connect a bunch of accessories, you're going to need a dongle or a dock. This minimal port setup is fine for people already in USB-C ecosystem, but it's not ideal for creative pros or power users who depend on external devices. Now, the speakers on the MacBook Pro 13 are surprisingly good. For such a small chassis, they deliver rich and well-balanced sound with decent bass and clear highs. They are not quite on the level of the 14-inch or 16-inch MacBooks, but they are still better than most laptops in this size class. The 720p webcam is acceptable. It's probably the weakest part of the entire package. In a world where Zoom and team meetings are the norm, a 1080p camera should really be the standard. Thankfully, Apple's image processing does help clean things up a bit, but if you care about video quality, consider an external webcam. Now let's talk about software. macOS Ventura or Sonoma, depending on when you are watching this, runs like a dream on this machine. It's smooth, intuitive, and optimized perfectly for Apple Silicon. You get seamless app transitions, fast wake times, great battery management, and the ability to run iOS apps natively. And of course, if you're already in the Apple ecosystem, you get things like AirDrop, Universal Clipboard, Handoff, and FaceTime integration. It's a cohesive, clean experience that just works, and that's one of the biggest strengths of this device. Now, let's talk about price and value. Here's where things get interesting. The 13-inch MacBook Pro starts at around $1,300. That's $100 more than the MacBook Air with the same chip, and you're essentially paying for the fan, slightly better sustainable performance, and longer battery life. But here's the catch: Apple also sells the redesigned 14-inch MacBook Pro, which for a few $100 more gives you better ports, a better screen, better speakers, and far more power if you upgrade to the Pro or Max chips. Now, is it a good choice? That really depends on what you need. If you want a quiet, compact, long-lasting laptop with strong performance and don't need a ton of ports, it's still a very solid choice. But if you want a more future-proof machine with modern design and extra versatility, you may want to look at the Air or 14-inch Pro. That said, it's still a very good laptop, quiet, compact, strong battery life, and a very capable performance. If those are your priorities and you're okay with the limitations, the MacBook Pro 13-inch will serve you well for years. So guys, let me know in the comments, are you planning to pick up this laptop or are you going to stick with what you already have? That's it for this video, guys. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if this video was helpful, and make sure to check out the description for links to find the most up-to-date pricing on this laptop. See you in the next one.